Hey guys, welcome back to RPO Restorations. Today we'll be talking about a 1980s icon. This car has become synonymous with the 1980s car culture. This car helped reignite the performance image of the personal luxury coupe, a car that went on to propel a NASCAR legend to several big wins, and a car that was essentially a blank canvas throughout the 1980s and 90s for home mechanics and drag racers to drop anything they could fit into the engine bay. This car is the Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. When the third generation Monte Carlo debuted for the 1978 model year, Chevrolet viewed it as more of a personal luxury coupe rather than a car with performance potential. It came covered with extra chrome and ornamentation, with a plush interior and a cushy suspension. But as the 1980s rolled on, GM could see that buyers were beginning to hope for more sporty offerings from the company. So in 1983, Chevrolet released the first SS package for the Monte Carlo. The 1983 Monte Carlo SS debuted with two color choices, either white or French blue metallic paint with a blue interior. All came equipped with the L69 305 cubic inch V8 rated at 175 horsepower and 230 foot-pounds of torque. All came with blacked out trim, a special aerodynamic front fascia, quick ratio power steering, the F41 suspension package, a rear trunk spoiler, rally wheels equipped with Goodyear Eagle GT white letter tires, a catback dual exhaust, the Turbo Hydromatic 350C 3-speed automatic transmission, and a 3.42 axle ratio on an open differential. The G80 limited slip rear was not available on the first year SS. Exterior striping was done in either light or dark blue, with the white cars getting the light blue striping. The only seat available was a cloth bench, which came in a blue and white color combination. Buyers could opt for a 60-40 split version if they wanted to pay extra. Chevy sold about 4,700 SS models in its first year. In 1984, Chevy continued SS production as a carryover from the 1983 model year, with three exceptions. First, buyers could now opt for bucket seats instead of the bench. They were only available in blue and lacked the SS embroidery of the bench seat. Buyers who did order bucket seats could now also opt for the optional center console with a floor-mounted shifter. Chevrolet also made the G80 limited slip option available in the SS for this model year. Horsepower in the 305 cubic inch L69 V8 was increased to 180, with torque dropping to 225 foot-pounds. This horsepower rating would remain the same throughout the rest of the car's run. As a side note, this is also the year Chevrolet made an SS package available for the Mexican Monte Carlo, which I'm going to talk more about at the end of the video. Chevrolet sold about 24,000 SS models this year. In 1985, the SS that most of us picture when we think of one finally debuted. For the 1985 model year, the blue interior and exterior colors were discontinued, and buyers could now choose between white, lamp black, burgundy metallic, and silver metallic exterior paints. The colors of the exterior striping kits were also changed to reflect these new color options, with all blue striping being replaced with either a red or an orange-red striping kit, depending on the color choice. Buyers had the choice between a maroon, oxblood, or silver interior color, and there was a 1-year only rib pattern in the seats. T-tops also became available in the SS for the first time. The rear axle ratio increased to 373:1. It's also interesting to note that Chevy didn't use the 8.5-inch ring gear with these cars like Oldsmobile was using in their 442 and Buick used in the Grand National, sticking with the 7.5-inch unit. The transmission was also updated, with the SS receiving the overdrive Turbo Hydromatic 200 R4. SS production jumped to over 35,000, accounting for almost a third of all Monte Carlos produced that year. 1986 saw more exterior and interior changes to the SS. The side mirrors were updated to the Aero style. Rally wheels were replaced with a new aluminum alloy type. Inside, the 85 mile per hour speedometer was replaced with a 115 mile per hour version, and the radio was finally updated to an electronically tuned one. This resulted in the discontinuation of the tick-tock-tap option with the clock inside the tachometer. Color choices remain the same, but the rear spoiler design was changed midway through the model year. This was also the first year the SS Areocoupe was made available. More on that to come. This was also the best-selling year for the SS, with over 41,000 regular models and 200 Areocoupes being produced. For the 1987 model year, Chevrolet continued production with most of the car remaining unchanged, with the exception of some color choices. Stripe kits were now available in new color choices depending on the exterior of the car. The red-orange stripe was discontinued, and buyers could now choose between red, gray, and light or dark gold to help accent the exterior and interior colors. 1987 also saw the addition of the saddle interior for the first time. The Areocoupe continued on with a few minor changes to its construction. Chevrolet also didn't set a limit on production numbers when it came to the Areocoupe, with over 6,000 being produced this year. Regular SS production topped out at over 33,000 units. In 1988, the SS entered its final model year of production with the scheduled sunset of the rear-wheel drive G-body car line. The model was essentially a carryover from the 1987 year in notchback coupe form, with the Areocoupe model being discontinued. All interior and exterior color combinations stayed available, but buyers were limited to 2 bundled option packages containing most of the popular option choices. The center console was also offered standard with bucket seats this year. Yes, in previous years one could order buckets with a column shifter, although it was a pretty rare thing to do. Production ended in December of 1987, and the rear-wheel drive Monte Carlo SS moved into the history books. Before we go, I'd like to touch on 2 cars that deserve their own section. The first is the Mexican version of the Monte Carlo SS. Released in 1984 only, it's definitely interesting. Offered in white with blue accents and featuring a Hurst-shifted 4-speed manual with checkerboard wheels, this car came factory equipped with a 350 cubic inch engine. I know there have been rumors floating around for years about some SS's leaving the factory with 350s, and I think this is where it started. There's always somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who got one, but I can honestly say this probably never happened. Any American SS that has the 350 in it had it installed sometime after it left the factory. Overall, I think these cars are pretty interesting. I think Chevy could have installed a 350 TBI in SS's, but it never happened. The next car I have to mention is the Areocoupe. Debuting in 1986, they were designed to eliminate some of the wind issues the Monte Carlo experienced on NASCAR tracks. At least 200 had to be released to the public, according to NASCAR rules at the time. The back glass was sloped, and it certainly did the trick, with Pontiac doing something similar in their 1986 2+2. These cars are going to be getting their own video in the near future, so I'm going to save my comments for then. What do you guys think about the Monte Carlo SS? Worth forgetting or worth remembering? Let us know in the comment sections. As usual, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one.